Alright, this is Travis Wayne Goodsell, and if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. That means I worded the title in a manner in which it caught your attention because of the data that you input on YouTube. If you're not aware of that process, then you're watching Fox News, and they're not telling you this. I had to clear my browsing history the other day. And when I went into YouTube, before I sign in, all my previous browsing history data, which would show recommendations and what I usually click on, gone. And instead they had trending. And all I could see was Fox News all over the place. That pissed me off. Fox News is Trump TV. It is not news. It is a fraud, just like our president. And I never go to Fox unless they turn themselves into the news, such as Ainsley when she talked with Geraldo Rivera about an upcoming book by somebody. I think it was the Comey's book, and she said, well, why doesn't Trump just bomb Syria to distract from the Comey book? And then later that evening, what does Trump do? He bombs Syria. That's the only time I will go to Fox. I cannot sit through an episode. It's worse than the local Fox. And even there I had a difficult time, but I kind of liked it because, never mind. So yeah, I'm not happy with YouTube giving preference to Fox. That's unacceptable to me. Especially when they complain that, oh, Google's not showing our favorite, our sites. It's all about negative stuff on us. So apparently Google caved, because I understand Google bought YouTube. So now it's the reverse problem. Other people are being shadow banned by Google and YouTube. That ain't right. Okay, but that's not the reason for the video. I was going to get into videos on each scene that I do with the translation of the brass plates, which is why you clicked on this video. Mountain Dew. And no, it's not against the word of wisdom, Mormons. That's why you're all messed up. The church has deceived you. The mere fact that I'm able to make a translation of the Egyptian documents to restore the Bible, because it's not just going to be the Torah. I'm going to restore the gospel. Notice I said gospel and not gospels. Did you know that there were more than 4 gospels? That the Holy Roman Empire only allowed for these 4, and all the others were anathematized. So the Gospel of Peter, we've been led to believe that Peter was the head of the church when Jesus died. Notice I said led to believe. So where's his gospel? Why isn't his gospel prominent? Instead we have the books of Paul, all sorts of different books written by Paul. Paul, by many Christian groups, is the doctrine of Jesus rather than the Gospels. There are Christian groups who go to Paul's records for their gospel. And sorry, he had no authority. He was just a regular missionary. And he was an apostle, but he was a missionary. He was not a leadership position. And Christians have led everybody to believe that he was greater than he was. And I got an email from my estranged mother. Someone gave her my email, so now I'm getting updates of which I never respond to, because, well, if you've known my other videos, I've talked about it, or my website, and I've talked about it, or books, and I've talked about it. So if you're new, there's backstory here that you're missing out on. She talked about how some of my relatives took a trip over to Rome to be there at the dedication of the Rome Temple. And so my mom thought, oh, the artist, he made the 12 apostles for the church to put in the temple. You have to know my mother. She's an alt-right, Republican, Mormon, white supremacist. So she thought that she would explain each and every single one of the apostles to me. I don't care. But she got to Paul. They made him, the artist, the sculptor, made Paul the 13th apostle. And many people believe he's the 13th apostle. No, he was not. So, anyway. Wasn't it Joseph Smith who said he saw Paul? I wonder if this artist depicted him as Joseph Smith claimed he saw him. Apparently he's short. Did the sculptor make him short? I don't know. I don't care. Anyway. So, Peter, however, was sculpted with keys in his hand. Because when Jesus changes his name from Simon to Seer, Peter, Egyptian, Peter, Seer, hello, anybody listening? Again, more backstory for you. He's then given the keys of the kingdom, or said he will be getting the keys of the kingdom in the next verse. And of course that's debatable as to whether the author put it in there. But anyway, it would mess up the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, wouldn't it? Because if Peter, James, and John gave Joseph Smith the keys of the kingdom, and yet, as a seer, those keys were with Elijah. And as we learn in the Book of Mormon, don't we Mormons, that a seer has the authority to translate ancient documents. So, a little confusing there. if keys to leading the church are with Peter, but to translate is with Elijah, and Elijah didn't come until the Kirtland Temple in 1836. Things that make you go, Whatever happened to Arsenio Hall? Oh well. So, yeah, I already had dinner. Went out to Family Dollar down the street. I got a pizza, got some dew. And so, yeah, I'm a little stuffed right now. Not the Australian stuffed, which means pregnant. But I sure feel pregnant with what the state of Utah did to me when they tortured me for 6 years. Again, backstory, if you're new, you're missing out on it. So, yeah, what I intended to do is to go over the brass plates in a video format for you, rather than do an update video and have you go over to my website, which, having done that through the website, that's dramatically shot up in views since then. So, yeah, yeah, usually when I neglect my website, views drop because I'm not on Google to search. But for some reason, since I put on the two for the Egyptian Torah page with these brass plates updates, I don't have to ever go back to post anything else again, apparently. So, oh well, maybe this will drop those views. But that's only assuming that those of you on YouTube are actually going to my webpage to look at it. Anyway, so this is going to be the introduction, and I'll then keep doing video after video for each scene that I've done so far, and then it's almost 7. Oh man. I may not get to all of them today, so we'll see. But we'll continue tomorrow, and then you will see how I do my translation work. And you will watch one and all as a seer translates ancient documents. Woo! I don't have a Urim and Thummim. I don't have a top hat to stick 2 rocks in and claim that I'm able to see inside the darkness. However, back when I had home teachers, before Nelson did away with it, well, they went on vacation and took a cruise out in the Pacific. So went all the way up to China and then down to Australia and New Zealand and whatever. And they came back and gave me a gift of some stones. It was a pouch of stones, and I selected these 2. And these 2 I wear in my pocket with me all the time. So, Urim and Thummim. And I looked down my pocket to there's a rock in your pocket, dear Liza, dear Liza. And so, yeah, if you understand how I understand translating Paleo-Hebrew, you'll understand why I have a pink and a blue rock singled out from the other rocks that I was given. Has to do with the delta. Not the delta in the Nile. No, it's related. It's the triangle of Paleo-Greek as well as Paleo-Hebrew. Alrighty, and thus the Jewish star. So, alrighty. So, let's begin and get this over with, because we're already at 15 minutes for this video. Or maybe I should stop here and then let's do that. So let me just further add, it's a weekend, so nobody's open today and I can't contact anybody today. But if you remember back when I did my video about CenturyLink, or maybe it was on my website, CenturyLink at the beginning of the year had a server problem and messed me up. As you know, the server went out for all of Utah and surrounding states, because when I called, the person was from a different state and saying, yeah, our server just barely came back up, but Utah's is still down, and we'll make sure that we'll give you credit for 3 days on your bill. Well, time to pay my bill, and CenturyLink is saying it's the full price. Where's the discount for the server problem that they experienced? So I finally got a hold of somebody after many failures. CenturyLink doesn't like to be contacted. They tend to hang up on you. Even in the chat, they transfer you to a person who's supposed to be able to help you, and then they're just not available. Sorry, we're too busy. So yeah, I finally got a hold of somebody and they said, oh yeah, okay, no, we'll take off $10, and I'm right there wanting to pay my bill, and so I'm saying, are you sure? I don't see it deducted on my account. No, just pay the $10 less and everything will be fine. And I'm going, yeah, are you sure? Oh yeah, it'll be. And so yeah, apparently I thought everything was fine, and it was. There was no further debt on my account, and it still says that I'm all paid up and that the next bill isn't until this end of this month. However, starting last Thursday, not this last Thursday, but the first Thursday of February, I go in to deposit some money, and my checking account is $25 less. And I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought maybe I did my math wrong when I was paying bills, which is unusual because I've been excellent with math. I rarely make mistakes with math, and makes mistakes. And come to find out today, when the bank is closed and I can't contact them, they're showing that again another $25 was taken out by CenturyLink. I'm like, hey! And apparently they're going to be doing it until $175 is obtained. But my CenturyLink account says I'm all paid up. There's nothing owing. So something's not right. And I thought, hey, wait a minute. There was a Russian who contacted me claiming to be Mormon, Mormon 888, who's wanting the brass plates that I'm working on. He wants the translation in text. He's not satisfied with the video I did. He wants it in print. And I'm like, does he not realize that I know all about what's going on with Russia and the United States and the computer cyber attacks that they're doing on us? And so I emailed him, and we've been corresponding, and I keep updating him with digital PDF versions of my work. And the only problem is it wasn't him, unless he's that brazen to have hacked into my bank account to take out money claiming to be CenturyLink, and is then doing a cover front by revealing who he is on Gmail. Wouldn't that be interesting? And so maybe I'll have to call the FBI, but he didn't reach out to me until the 11th, and so he was not around on the what was it, the 6th, I think. Yeah, the 6th. 15, 14. No. See, yesterday was the 15th, 14th, so 7th. And it was taken out on the 6th. So 6 and 13 were the days when it was taken out of my account. And so, yeah, it was before he contacted me and was searching around. He was searching around everywhere. YouTube, my website, academia.edu. I never go to that anymore. I don't bother. I put some documents on there, my Hebrew stuff, I guess, but I don't. And Google, he's been searching for me on Google. I'm not sure about LinkedIn, but that was another option for him if he knew about it. So, yeah, he was searching for me and found me. So if he's a Russian spy trying to hack my system, why is he searching for me specifically? Now, my website, Weebly, has Russians visit me on occasion. Back in 2017, it was once a month. And I was like, oh, hey guys. I would comment, hey guys, I know you're watching. And back in 2017 of September, Google has notified me through email that somebody hacked my account. And so I've been a target by somebody. And so it's still under investigation because I haven't received a follow-up of it. So, yeah, who knows? But why would they target me, of all people? All normal people just get targeted on Facebook through the advertising. You know, I'd rather be a communist or a Russian than vote Democrat. That was the propaganda they were putting on Facebook. And people right here in Utah were saying, yeah, I'd rather be Russian than vote Democrat. Woo! Do you guys really hate America? I mean, yeah, our government is corrupt, but are you really that hateful of the Constitution? Do you really not care to restore our government to follow the Constitution? Boggles my mind how Mormons would want that. How Mormons want a king on the throne of the United States. They get up in fast and testimony meetings and say, I know the Book of Mormon is true. I love this book with all my heart. And I apply it in my life, and I liken it unto me. And then you go and you vote for a king. Unbelievable. How Mormons just, it's like they draw near to people with their lips, but their hearts are far from the Book of Mormon. Read the Book of Mormon. It's the greatest book in the world. It's true. It's about a history of the people who saw Jesus. Yeah, And it's also a warning to us in the United States, don't put a king on the throne. And so now we have a president who's declared a national emergency and said, well, there really isn't a national emergency. I'm just doing it because then you guys will have to take me to court to stop me. And I've got the Supreme Court rigged. So, and now he's off golfing in Florida at his resort where he was hiring illegal immigrants. So, yeah, that's been fun, as I'm still a target of somebody, and yet who am I to catch the attention of the biggest hackers in the world? You know, they're only taking out $175. And still they're not able to get it all. They have to do it in $25 increments. And apparently they're posing as my internet company. I just had to have my checking account changed not too long ago because of other problems that people were doing. And Scribd is still taking money from me. I canceled them. That's why I won't do Scribd documents on my website anymore, because it's a trap, apparently. So because that's on my credit card, I'll have to see if I can reverse the charges and stop them that way, because apparently they're not abiding by my having canceled service. Not cool, Scribd. You know, you're great because you have exclusive documents that I can't get through other sources on the internet, but not cool that you keep charging people after they've canceled. So, yeah, we'll have to put a stop to that on Monday. Alrighty, so, yeah, that's my life so far, and what's been going on. So yeah, today, as you saw, I came up with some videos and didn't get much done on the brass plates, but then thought, hey, I know, I'll do a video for each scene so that I can maybe get motivated to get this going and not get distracted by other stuff. So, man. Alrighty, so yeah, that's that for that, and yeah, well, I'm not going to get much done today. This is already 30 minutes, so it's going to take at least 30 minutes to get it all processed through the system and onto YouTube. So I would be watching SNL, but the LDS Church owns the local KSL Channel 5, which contains SNL. And DirecTV will not show Channel 5 because they are in dispute with Channel 5 here in Utah, owned and operated by the church, who are on the board. And they are demanding that DirecTV pay them more money to show Channel 5 through DirecTV. Unbelievable. It's not like SNL has ever gone after the church. Only the president. So I have to wait until tomorrow morning to finally watch what the rest of you got to see. So now I have to watch it on YouTube, the SNL channel. Which obviously does not show up as trending. I'm sure that if I cleared my browsing history tonight, that tomorrow morning when I go on to YouTube, it would still be Fox trending. SNL would not be there. Even though SNL would probably have millions of views and is actually trending, whereas Fox isn't trending. I can't believe they pulled that stunt and Google fell for it. Unbelievable. You know, that's why Fox wasn't showing Trump's rallies anymore. Because nobody was watching. They can't show programs that nobody watches, because then the advertisers don't want to advertise on something that doesn't have views. So they don't get paid. So much for Trump TV. Oh, man. But yeah, I've had to have dealings with a Mormon specifically targeting me on YouTube. Now, I don't know that for certain, but it's great to expose the church through this process, because my videos are targeted towards the Mormon audience, or those who are anti-Mormon or former Mormon. And of course, Mormons see things in dichotomous. It's a dichotomy, one way or the other. You're either for the church or you're against us. Yeah, well, okay, fine, I'm against you, if you're going to put it that way. So, you know, Brigham Young was evil. He changed the church. Oh, he's the prophet of the Lord, and he can do whatever he wants. Oh, okay, so he can be a racist, a sexist, a murderer. Change the nature and character of God himself, and that's God's will. Okay, whatever you want to believe, I affirm your beliefs. Whatever. You need to validate my beliefs. No, I don't. If your beliefs are wrong, I'm not validating them. I don't need to validate your feelings either. If your feelings are wrong, I'm not validating them. So yeah, if you notice, those are wisdom of the world tactics that have been used throughout history, as well as, you can't judge me, you need to walk in my shoes, we'll agree to disagree. All of those are philosophies of men, guys. And many of them are mingled with scripture, guys. Mormons. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you don't, you haven't been to the temple lately. I'm pretty sure they still have that in there. Oh, wait, no. They took that, well, I think it was just the garden scene. The fall story, where Satan's role diminishes, Eve's role increases. But I think they still kept Lucifer and Peter, James, and John, didn't they? I'm not quite sure. I don't bother to go to a false temple ritual. If you want to know the true temple ritual, I've already done the video for it. It's available for you to watch. I did do a picture discussion, and I should have done it into a book, but I deleted the page and it's unrecoverable in the manner in which I had it. I probably put it on Facebook back in the day, before when I had Facebook, but yeah, Oh well. So, alrighty. But, yeah, I should have published that into a book. So, yeah. I could still do it, but I wouldn't get to the brass plates, which would contain the temple ritual anyway. That's right. Temple ritual was taken out of the Bible. So I'll be putting it back in. And that's what I've done with the restoration of the Torah. It's not just correcting the text as we have it. There's missing scripture from the Torah, from the biblical Hebrew text, not just the Gospels. So I'll be filling in the blanks, but there's a lot of blanks to fill in, and I may not get them all. There may be those that slip by me. That's something I have to accept as possible, probable even. Alrighty. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that Mormons would never even think of. And yet a lot of things will be confirmed for Mormons, but clarified, different than what they've established through tradition. For example, the Council in Heaven. Oh, I forgot to put in the Council in Heaven. Glad I remembered. I need to write this down to get that put in. Council in Heaven. Alright. Man. See, I'm gonna make mistakes. You will see this process. I am just but a man. Where's my other pile? There we go. Because I got to remember the birth symbolism for the creation story. I need to put that in there. I've mentioned it in my videos, but I need to remember to put it in the book form. So, yeah, I'll have to review my videos too, I guess, to make sure I get everything. But yeah, the Council in Heaven is also in there, in the Egyptian documents, and I'll write about that too. But it's not what Mormons have turned it into. Mormons have turned it into the Saturday Night War, or Saturday's Warrior, not Saturday Night Warrior, Saturday's Warrior. If you're familiar with that BYU play that turned into a movie, and I think they just upgraded or rebooted it. I never bothered with it, but yeah. The church came out and said, no, this is false doctrine, Mormons. But Mormons still said, no, my feelings need to be validated, and it's true, and I've met my soulmate. We knew each other in the pre-existence, in the pre-mortality, in the Council in Heaven. And I was there. I was one of those in the council. Everybody was. No. Stop with all these false doctrines, Mormons. False theology, technically. You have no basis but your own feelings. You know, I took Biblical Hebrew at the University of Utah. I was hoping for a degree in Hebrew, and they have I don't know what they call it, a course. They have people assigned in that course for Hebrew. But the problem is that they didn't have enough classes for Hebrew alone. And they try to force you to take Arab studies and Arabic language. And I was going, no. Hebrew in and of itself is separated from original Paleo-Hebrew, which is what I really wanted, but nobody does, so I deciphered the language. Again, you're missing backstory like you don't understand. Lots of backstory you're missing. And so I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, but when I went to the University of Utah, I said, okay, I'll settle for Hebrew because I was forced to go to the University of Utah. Again, backstory that you're missing out on. And so I started in a Hebrew degree and realizing I can't get all these, there's not enough courses for a Hebrew degree. I have to take Arab studies. I don't want to do Arab studies. That's far beyond, many centuries after what I'm intending to do, and millennia before what I wanted to do. So, yeah, I got out of that and dabbled with moral philosophy, but there wasn't much. They didn't have a moral philosophy department. It was under philosophy. I had already done that in philosophy of science with my bachelor's up in Canada. And again, backstory, guys, backstory. And so I took some moral philosophy classes to touch up with the other philosophy that I'd taken, and thus produced the book Mormon, or Philosophy of Mormonism. And then Mormon philosophy was an upgraded version, and then there's separate books of others. Answers to Still Ask Gospel Questions, Basic Logic. I can't remember some of the other titles, but those were separate books within the original that I was doing. For some reason, I thought that I had to make it a huge book, and added the different books into one book. Yeah, I am the first to have actually done a book discussing the philosophy of Mormonism. And so there's I can't remember the Mormon who did the other book, which he titled Philosophy of Mormonism, or Mormon Philosophy, or something like that. He was a scholar, and he's got a building named after him. Can't remember his name. He did a book on that, and it wasn't. It was a propaganda book. He didn't do anything on the principles of philosophy, sound arguments and logic and all that. So, yeah, I am the first to have made a book on the philosophy of Mormonism, and I need to upgrade it, update it. So, but I'm not in any hurry to do that. So, yeah, I then went and found in the anthropology department at the University of Utah, Eva Vasilevska, and she asked that you not pronounce her name or attempt it. And if you saw the spelling, you'd understand why. She just wants people to call her Eva, even though it's Iwa in spelling. And so, yes, she's Eastern European, thanks to the breakup of Russia. And she is a foremost archaeologist and anthropologist who has been the only American, now that Saddam Hussein is gone, but yeah, when Saddam Hussein was in power, she has been the only American to dig in Iraq. And so that's how prominent she is in the world. And she came out with a book, and it was the textbook for one of my classes, Creation Stories of the Middle East. And that class is where I did a report on the theory that the Bible, with the creation and the flood stories, are taken from Egyptian source documents. So way back when, I had this theory. So I already knew all about this, but it's taken until now to finally come out with it in published form. So Yeah, so now we're at 45 minutes. This is going to be the last thing I do tonight, apparently. So much for my dating on the book. I intended to have it finished on Valentine's Day, so the date is February 14th. So I'm going to need to fix that. I hope I don't forget. So, yeah, if you do get the publication, or go to my website when I finish it and see that it's still February 14th, 2019 as the date for the copyright, just to understand why. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking it was going to take shorter, but I realized that when I had to fill in the missing scriptures, I realized that there's actually more I need to do to explain why these are missing and why they need to be put in and why they need to be put in where I put them in. And that takes time. So, yeah, with the fall even, that I had to correct because the Bible has it wrong. So I've got to explain why it's wrong and why the source documents that I'm referring to correct what's wrong in the Torah about the fall. So that takes some time. So as you watch me in these videos, you will see me working out this process. You'll get to see it all, just as Martin Harris got to see Joseph sticking his head in a hat. Making him believe that was the manner of translation. Backstory, guys. It's a hilarious one, because Martin Harris was not let in on the secret because he was the leader or the president of the anti-Freemasonic movement, and in his town, and so yeah, it's not a coincidence that the 116 pages went missing when given to Martin Harris, and they make it seem like, oh, it's the woman that's to blame. Everybody blames women or blacks or Indians. But now the Book of Mormon was an attempt to say, hey, you know, blacks and Indians, they're just like us white folk. We need to stop trying to kill them off. Stop trying to put them into slavery. We need to give them rights. We need to treat them equally. And then Brigham Young comes along and says, oh, well, the Book of Mormon clearly is racist against the black man. So therefore, I'm going to follow the Book of Mormon and I'm denying blacks the priesthood. Yeah, God's true church. Oh, man. Barry Manilow has a song. Put a quarter in the jukebox. If you don't know that song, I highly recommend it. I'm going to listen to it now, but I don't want to have it in the background because YouTube is extra sensitive for certain companies. So I don't want it playing in the background and then banning my video until the company says, oh, okay, well, just don't monetize it. Unbelievable. It's like nobody cares about the Constitution. It's like, screw the Constitution, we want money. Because we are living in a material world. And you notice I'm wearing pink. Backstory. And it, I think it has to do with Beth in kindergarten. Backstory. So, yeah. But as a boy growing up, I was pressured to only want boy things, boy colors. You know, I was supposed to be, you know, a man as a boy, and so my parents were unaware that I was sneaking to play my sister's Barbie fashion plates, so that they could have recommended that I go into fashion design, and starting salary on the East Coast is $100,000 a year. But then I wouldn't be doing these videos for you. Instead, I'd be busy with the next runway shoot. Travis's fashion line. Oh, Travis, that dress is to die for. And no, it doesn't mean I'm gay. Backstory. You know, my parents were paranoid about me being gay because of my uncle, my dad's brother. Backstory. So, they thought I was gay. You know, not too many years ago, they finally realized, hey, if we have boys play with girl dolls, maybe they won't turn out gay. We're noticing a pattern here of those who turn gay used to play with boy dolls. Dum 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 dum, or dum 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 dum, from South Park, all about the Mormons. I highly recommend you watch that. You'd think I was drunk or something, wouldn't you? Just rambling. Alrighty. Yep. So, yeah, this is all I'm doing for tonight, guys. Sorry. Man. I think I'm done. Is there anybody still listening? If you comment, I'm not going to get to your comments. Maybe. I don't know. I've got 150 comments now. I tried to catch up. Nobody watches the videos of those, but I'm now at 150. I can't keep up, guys. So I hope you guys are being good and nice. Because, yeah, I'm going to delete you if I find abuse on my channel. I will not tolerate it. You know, Mormons, you have to come to the realization that the church is wrong. I'm sorry, it's just wrong. I was born and raised in it. Backstory. So, but there's some things in there that you need to know about, because they weren't trying to pull off a fraud for the sake of money. You know, yes, they needed to live, and yes, they had no money, and thus needed Martin Harris, his money, needed him to sell his farm to get money. But yeah, it wasn't intended to make a profit. They just wanted to get the book out, and thus they needed the money to get the book out. But there's a message hidden in the words. It's coded. So Jesus, for example, is not really appearing in the Americas. It's a coded message, and has to do with Samuel the Lamanite and Nephi and Jesus. because they're all tied together there when Jesus appears. Because Samuel the Lamanite, why do we have him in there? Because Jesus comes and says, let me see your records. Records. And Nephi happens to be the name of the leader of the church. The same name as the beginning leader of the church, the family tribe, who leaves Jerusalem for the promised land. Or, in other words, leaves Judah, phonetic for Utah, for the promised land. See, it's encoded, Mormons. You have to leave Utah for the promised land. But it's not going to happen if you guys continue to belong in Utah, Judah. So, Laman and Lemuel wanted to go back. But, yeah, Samuel the Lamanite. What was he doing? There's going to be signs in the heavens, guys. So what's going to happen in the second coming of supposedly Jesus? But the Jews don't believe in Jesus. They believe in this Messiah guy who's going to be full human, not half God, half man, to come from outer space to earth. They don't believe in that. Jews believe that a man will be born as a man, full man, father, man, mother, man. That is to be the last days Messiah. That's who the Jews are waiting for. That's who they were waiting for back when the Gospels were said to be written. So, yes, there's a lot of things that are wrong in the Bible. And this translation will clarify all of it, if I can ever get around to doing it. And so, yes, it's not a coincidence that Jesus comes, talks to Nephi, and says, where are the words of Samuel the Lamanite? Then Samuel the Lamanite gets put in. He's called a prophet at that point. He's not called a prophet until Jesus comes and says, hey, I spoke to him, I gave him my word. He told you and warned you guys and said, hey, there's going to be signs. Again, backstory, guys. Backstory. It's all coded messaging. So, yeah. And apparently the first 116 pages was too close for comfort for Martin Harris to tolerate as a anti-Freemason. So, alrighty. That's enough for that. So, see, I saved the best for last in this video. Could you make it this far? If you made it this far, you got the surprise. So, you guys got rewarded for hanging out this long and listening to me. So if I put it in the description, hey, if you wait till the end, there's a surprise. Or if I put it in the video thing at the beginning, if you wait till the end, you'll get a surprise. You'll skip the video and go right to the end. All right, we're at an hour, so finish this and then go to bed, so I can wake up and watch SNL. Woo! You know they're gonna rip on Trump for declaring a national emergency and then saying, there's no national emergency, I was just doing it. And then going down to Florida for golfing. So this is going to be a good one. And hopefully we'll have Alec Baldwin as Trump, assuming he's not arrested for anything, locked in jail. So it'll be good tonight, and I'll have to wait until tomorrow. So it'll be like Christmas. Okay, I've now passed an hour. Adieu. Brethren, adieu. That's a Book of Mormon joke, guys. If you don't know... See, Mormons, they just don't get it. I say, oh, adieu. Well, if you translate adieu, you really don't have an English translation. No. Dum, 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 dum. It's brethren, adieu. And why is that significant as a distinction? Because it's Freemasonic coding. So, Mormons, wake up. Wake up. You're dreaming. Wake up. So, all right. Tomorrow, you will see the process of how a seer, a real seer, works to translate ancient documents.